kankang and Simon. Util held. Nobody might miss that timing though still. Heretic set up for the A split, and the Util is connecting. Listen, there's spades of it. More where that came from. No clean kills really to be found here. And it's EDG, they're gonna barrel their way through, they just can't do it. In pieces, onto the ground. Pistol round cleaned up if I've ever seen one. The 2v5, it's just gotta be heroics and a miracle, I think, on the side of EDG.
Looks like Benji's on the flank, seeing if Smoggy's gone for a teleport play past his trip, because they're just startled at how slow Smoggy and Chishuata begin this retake.
Yeah.
It's a 2v5. More dominance for Heretics.
As I said, I mean, Util in spades. They're going to just cut them out of the picture here. Peeking, as soon as there's contact, recognition that the players are falling and dropping. And speaking of dropping, it's Benji with 4 bodies. Dropped in the round, a pistol round again under the belt of Heretics. This is, again, there's no other word to describe it other than dominance. They've come to this tournament with expectations that they might reach the same heights like they did in Shanghai, but clearly taking those learning moments from it.
Benji, you're the GOAT, bro.
It was a phenomenal pistol round from him. The first fault line, though, from Wook, caught onto 2 players. Miniboo went for the stun towards default, caught himself with it, actually, and they still had the presence of mind to slow things down. I think Team Heretics, too, on their attack sides, generally going to be a bit better than EDG at going around and meticulously pruning away that defense.
Making sure that there's a series of unknowns across the map, forcing the defenders to get active.
Benji could get caught here, but he's only got the pistol.
Yeah, that's why he's going exploring. No real danger of him losing and handing over a gun. And guess what? In the rifle aim, well, not even that, man, just raw aim. It's on point right now for Benji.
One of the few times that Simon's fault line's pretty bad. And Chishu does respond with one. Woot falling, but Phantom, Guardian, Spectre on the other side. Kankan would have to land some almighty martial shots to make this one winnable.
Only one player weak enough as well for one to the body. It's gonna have to be mostly headshots defining this round if Kankan is to do it. And like I said, Miniboo survives. Single digits of health. Chichu will be no long for this world. 12 HP and a dream, and it will remain just that. It's 11 rounds here for Heretics. They're locked in.
Every team in the history of Valorant that's made back-to-back finals won at least one of them, the first or the second. EG last year had a somewhat similar arc to Heretics. We talked about that being a Cinderella story, something you might never see again. And the comparisons are not exactly one-to-one, but a team full of very inexperienced players who weren't rated incredibly highly by the community, that ran into the most dominant team of the year at the second event and come back, and are looking amazing here to begin.
Similar parallels, but as an opener, EDG sorely needed.
4-player fight from EDG as well, committing massive resources to locking down A lobby. This is kind of similar to how Team Heretics were defending. Yeah. Except they were often leaving the Neon to fight over this area rather than the Sova.
A bit of a handshake with the drones there, just trying to get that information. Smoggy on the line, that is nice.
They hit 2 body shots onto Riens.
Definitely did.
Right there.
Was claiming these kills. Benji, though, taking up some space. Spotting that there's gaps in the play. The defensive protocols of EDG still. Raw aim on display. Benji might be getting away with murder still.
I have retrieved the spot.
He'd have to ace to finish up this round and just not anticipating it. Kanking already up onto the line.
A big round for EDG just to showcase that they won't be completely pushed around and bullied. But that's still only their second round that they've won with rifles on board. Opening kill was clean from Kankan. Need to start seeing Smoggy get online. When we get to Lotus later on, third map, I am sure you will see Smoggy absolutely farming. He's amazing there. But on the Omen maps, it does sometimes take him a while to get warmed up.
Rough so far for him.
This Neon wall just a denial in case somebody like Kankan had taken the walk down mid.
I mean, Chichu's playing in front of this anyway, but Oh, it's finally broken. That's 2 shots committed, though.
Yeah, but tons of damage onto Chishu as well. Love that trip. That trip is so, so good for B post-plant situations. You get the plant down here and the retake tries to come through that, it's very tough. It's also good for info in the mid-round, because you know that people haven't re-cleared through mid and pushed into window, for example. See how Team Heretics defaulting, just taking parts of the map, making it a bit more difficult for EDG to play. Yeah. However, the Chinese squad does still control A lobby, and that's what Rians is looking to try to deny right now.
Paranoia held in the hands of Smoggy. He's going to have to follow up on this himself. Glides forwards, pulls out a dash. Evacuation by Minivu, still alive here with 35 seconds.
This is looking risky now because EDG did not bite on that pressure over towards A. Chishu's been holding this down since the start of the round in Garage.
Oh, he's going to be tested. Tested and potentially rewarded. Could be the difference. Flash evaded. Fires off the shots though, and now they know exactly where he is. At least they should! But they don't! Unanticipated, and Heretics paid a price in blood. 11 seconds left. Shot to pieces before they could even get into the site.
There's a round for EDG to try to stabilize, to try to find that belief. And there you're seeing Simon as well, with a rare smile, lit up.
Spike down mid.
It's so important that these EDG players genuinely believe that they can win today. Kang said it, they've already accomplished an unimaginable goal at Champions. But you have to still have that hunger to go further beyond.
Let's go!
And you see him pumping up Simon in that moment. So important.
Keep the morale in check. Understand that it's 1 round at a time. It's what makes the best. The best. Elites on the stage if you have that composure. It will be a hard run back. Stun. Connects. Barely a hand pointed out. Chichu. Have to get out of there.
If you look at the way that EDG play this map against any opponent, they love re-clearing Garage. Fault line, Chishu runs forward. Could be a spot that Team Heretics try to exploit, but at the moment it's working really nicely for EDG. Yeah. And if you control A lobby or long plus Garage, you've basically got the whole map.
Not broken before the reveal. Still just Sheriffs and a stinger in the hands of these Heretics players, but when it's up to 11, you never know when the next round's going to come. Here it is, Waller, Paranoia alongside it. The util is always going to be good and impeccable. Heretics hitting their shots, nailing them down. Kang is forced to respond, coming up with all sorts of damage and goods. Players are toppled.
That would have been a kill there. Woot, he's got about the worst weaponry for the job, but Kang is playing with so much danger.
15 HP. One shot from Woot will do it. 13 seconds though, and now Woot's got to get that move on, picks up the upgrade. They know exactly where he is. Simon puts him out of misery. And EDG, they stay alive in the map.
Timeout call for Team Heretics. What a role that Kang now finds himself in, by the way. If you think back to when he first started in Valorant, he was just a young boy with a dream.
Yeah.
And now he's in a position where he's almost like the experienced leadership figure for Simon, who he's sat right next to. The two are working in tandem so often in rounds. The support and the fragging. And you can see the energy that he has and how infectious it is spreading through the rest of the team. Heretics need to control this one before it slips away. This is now 3 in a row to turn the game from 11-3, which looks utterly unwinnable for EDG, to 11-6, where you're starting to think, okay, they might have a chance here.
Boulder hasn't budged really down the mountain yet. EDG is still going to attempt to push it up. 11-6 here, and like you said, they're still, at the back of their minds, they're thinking, oh, okay, are we losing track and slip of the map at least? I was going to say the series not quite there yet, still.
I think one of the things that you've got to notice, right, when you're Team Heretics in this position, is that Simon is often drifting over towards C. We're actually going to watch him set up for this big 4-player crunch towards A lobby. But if he is towards C, you should be able to take A long control a little easier at the start of these rounds. Now, if that was their read, EDG are already ahead of it.
I mean, it's a crazy mix-up. 4 players willing to fight this one, and I wonder if it's going to be a delay take. I've seen teams do this. Their show presence with the Sova. Just a feign like it's only the one holding.
Yep.
And this is going to be bloody. A skirmish laying in way, dashing forward, stunned up on either side. Can controlling the rifle, controlling the spray still. It's all Heretics, baby. Up in the feed in a 2v1. They paved their way towards the A site. Chichu seeking to get himself in there, trying to play ahead of the timings, but he can't dodge the paranoia. And it settles into the back of his mind. He hears the footsteps. Defense is necessary. Boo! My God! Wasn't even being defended in the moment.
What a shutdown. What awareness from Boo. I was not anticipating them to expect Shishu that early. He got to the site on a really fast timing. Look at how daft this fight is in A lobby. Everybody stunned up, trying to control their crosshair. But Heretics now, after winning that round, with Wu trading beautifully, they're up to 12.
Just one more stepping stone, all that stands between them and the map.
For the first time, EDG go for the walk down mid. And Team Heretics, they're having none of it.
No.
Full ult, baby, send them away.
Yep, and that's going to be clearing out most of the site. Boo sticks it down into hell. I know that A is easy access, so just a little bit of worry in the back of their minds about A short, still with that smoke that's propped up, and it's buying time and space potentially, but they're hearing these footsteps. Kang dodging, weaving, ducking from the bullets. Simon with a cage, not even in his face there. It's offloaded, ults, rattled back. The rolling thunder seeking to deny and delay some space. It's up to these players on the flank of EDG to see if they can do something. Kang's been left alone to his own devices. Tap of the rifle, beautiful, lands it still. Here's the cleanup crew arriving in kind. Dart from the side, wall up, Hunter's Fury, there is no escape. For the rest of his team, time has been bought. A punches, a mad dash and scramble. But an electrifying finish here to Haven. Heretics taking map number 1.
Massively deserved, dominant opening, stealing away EDG's first pick. Up next, Sunset, where Heretics have been phenomenal this year. Their home territory. What a knock. Were EDG expecting this comp? Were they expecting this ferocity? Have they adjusted to the stage?
We're going to be finding that out and more. This best of 5 is only just getting started. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the grand finals.
Trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed. And get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
we have Neil Zeno here of Team Heretics with me on stage. Congratulations on that first map. In prepping for a team like EDG, which you have faced off before, what tendencies or qualities of the team did you pay special attention to?
I mean, they're like most teams here. They've got really aggressive duelists. Kang is no different. The way they set him up is quite unique. Like, they send him in pretty heavy by himself, so we know if we can isolate him, we can kind of pick him off and kill him. So that was kind of the plan for Haven.
Well, we know how you guys feel about Sunset, which is coming up next, but how are you feeling about the map draft overall?
Yeah, the map draft was good. You know, they permaban Ascent, which, you know, we'll play it, but the fact that we don't have to play it is nice. And yeah, the rest of the maps are good for us, so as long as we keep playing our game, I think it's looking good.
All right, well, thank you very much, and best of luck out there.
It's a fantastic start for Team Heretics, and I'm back on the desk here. We are joined by Steel, we're joined by Mimi, and we have a very, very special guest all the way from Sentinels. It is Zelsis, the Vibe merchant even himself. I wanted to ask you, you rocked up with a Sen jersey. Why is that?
Well, you know, if if I was playing today, I'd be wearing it. So I gotta rock it just for the grand finals, even if I'm in the crowd supporting. Yeah.
Oh, now I want to cry. But yeah, welcome Josh as well. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Yeah, the first game was looking real nice and spicy there for a little bit. I love the kind of sloppy back and forth fights as well.
Yeah, it has been very, very spicy so far. But let's talk about the vibes and what's been going on stage, because you're familiar with these boys. I know you're close to Benji, as well. How important is it that they are able to bring this energy on a grand final?
Oh, I love it. I love to see it. I think like they all trust each other so much, like a brotherhood. Like they all love each other. Benji's always trolling or doing something stupid, like just funny. Minibu's the same. I always see him smiling and laughing. So it's really wholesome to see them just like enjoying the moment, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, they've really played up to the moment and are clearly like channeling the energy from that crowd and enjoying it in this match. And on the other side for EDG, I think you need to see more moments like that one from Kung, because overall this map felt a little bit flat from them. They couldn't get anything done in their default. They weren't doing a good job of breaking the Sentinel utility. And it was just round after round of these kind of last-second executes that were falling to bits.
Well, to bring it back to the Heretic side of things, when you're in this crowd, the stadium is roaring and cheering, that pressure can get to you mentally. And when you have a way to channel that nervous energy into something positive and take your mind away from all this external stuff and focus inwards, that's when you're going to play your best and not focus on just what happens if you make a mistake.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a lot of mistakes that did end up happening for EDG, but I think Team Heretics as well showcased something that they've been really good at all tournament. This defensive side was excellent. I think especially what Benji Fishy, this is something you were talking about, Jordan, was so good as that anchor.
Yeah. A big thing for me with Heretics is they leave Benji and Boo alone so much. It's just kind of like their rock. They trust them to either get info, push, or just hold down their site and stay alive. Like, I think that's really big for their defense, and I mean, it's been working for them, and you saw it here on Haven.
Yeah, and I mean, this is technically a comp change to go back to the Neon, but I think Miniboo looked so comfortable. They have a lot of nice set ideas to get the opening kill with him on this agent and get that early space in the round. It really felt like they were in control of this map.
Yeah, Team Heretics was out of touch and EDG was out of time. And we got to see that a lot, I think, through the value of how Team Heretics was playing that Cypher, getting that deep C-long value with a camera, and that allowed them to pivot where they set up their defense, and usually it was towards that A side, B side. There's always 4 players from Team Heretics ready to receive EDG.
And that brings us to our HyperX reflex moment of the day, and this one goes to Rians in round 10. We spoke about how he has the potential to be the MVP of this tournament. Would you agree, Zelsis?
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone has their flowers on Heretics, but this guy for me, he's shown through and through again in playoffs, like plus 20 every series, going plus 10, getting these like clutch moments here where he's getting executed on. He has supportive util, but he's just going forward, like he's not scared to take a fight, and I think that's really big as your initiator player.
Yeah, I feel like he's so good when he's like the player who's flooding in to help that site anchor hold on to the site. He does a great job of finding exactly the right moment in the chaos to use his dart where it's not going to get broken, and then find the kill, find the swing off of that as well. He's just been so consistent all event long.
I mean, for EDG, not a great start, but I'm going to cope for a second. Every single series they have won in this tournament, they have lost map 1. And still, you know, you're a pro player, you've been out there. How much do you think maybe nerves contribute to a start like this?
Nerves could definitely contribute to it, but I look at how Team Heretics was playing yesterday. I look how they're coming into today, and the way that they've been playing, I have to look at the looking at one side, how well they're playing, as opposed to is EDG playing down. We've seen them play to a low level. We've seen their highs. I don't think EDG is really playing a bad game right now. Team Heretics is just hitting new highs constantly.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for EDG is what I'd like to see is them kind of, I feel like they were kind of slow on Haven, and I think they needed Haven for this series. I think Heretics doing that away was kind of the same as the Live series. They win that first map, they're really confident, they're coming in, they want to win, they're playing aggressive. I think for EDG, I want them to be a little faster, be a little more confident. When they are confident, you know, they look like they're having fun, and it just doesn't look like they're having fun right now.
And specifically on this attacking side of Sunset, I think that has to come down to the ideas they're going to have to take early space on this map. They've been known this tournament for some of those set plays between Simon and Kung to claim those areas of the map. And in the mid-round as well, actually dealing with the Cypher utility that Benji Fishy is going to be using on this map is so important because Team Heretics was able to call so many massive rounds just off a gamble stack because that Cypher util wasn't being broken map 1.
I've seen how Kong's played this map before and taking control of everything by himself, not even having to be set up. But the way that Heretics is fighting back right now, I don't know if he can do that again by himself.
Now, Zelstas, we've got Brennan Sideshow waiting for us to get into the map. Would you like to do the honors and toss it over to them?
Oh my gosh, Brennan Sideshow, have fun. Really happy for you guys catching the finals. Let's send it over to Brennan Sideshow.
Dude, that is excellent. That is excellent. Okay, I love that. I love that. Let's get into it. Map 2 here. A new staging ground selected here to Sunset. The desk has been teeing up, setting us up on nicely, talking about it. It's a middle ground map for both of these teams, and, you know, judging by what we saw from that first map, Heretics, you'd have to lean over towards their side, I would say, I think, in terms of giving them the slight edge.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is a middle ground in terms of both teams like to play it, but it's actually towards the top of both teams' map pools.
Yeah.
So whereas we started on a map, no team had won on here at Champions, now we get to Sunset, where both teams should be feeling very comfortable. One of the things to look at for the Team Heretics defense that was working beautifully against Lev are these Woot KO knives. He throws one at the beginning over towards A, just to see if it's going to be a fast A exec, but he's got mid-round knives as well if EDG tried to play slowly. You heard it from the desk. They want to see the pace increase from EDG. They'll have to get through the trip first.
Not just that as well. Players on Heretics' side floated towards the positions. To stack this one at a moment's notice. Woot is ready to strike. Shot darts forward. Strips are broken. Holding for it. That's a dry swing and peek by Heretics, but to no avail.
Well, you see 3 players there. Does that mean that you want to go now over towards A? And if so, Boo was holding a one-way until it sunk into the floor.
And losing track of A main. Forced to jiggle.
But this is where the knife can come in handy. Look at Woot setting up the knife lineup. Oh.
He is. He's just thrown it. It's up and over.
So that's going to give them a little bit of info. When it only tags, well, in fact, when it tags onto 0 players over towards elbow, that's a slightly different knife. They're going to know and keep the stack on B. Woot's so good at that.
Yep, stacking from Heretics. They've got bodies ready to respond once more. Kang's forward though, steps up to that challenge still. Up through the back, Mini Boo's here, jumping around with the right clicks in hand. Kang not enough to offset it, and still players are getting brutalized, trying to enter their way in through this side with 15 seconds left to spare. EDG, Simon forced to stick this paranoia. It's picture perfect. Mini Boo is low, hearing it. Stock of the gun. Chichu's there with a flash in his face. Still tied up close to the corner. Boo in that 1v1. Chichu dismisses him as easily as that, and that is the beginning that EDG were hoping for.
They did manage to take the pistol on Haven too, so there's still plenty more that they'll have to do to prove they're capable of riding the ship. But considering they went into a stack there, considering there was 4 players looking to defend the site, the way that they fragged their way through that, it's got to give you a lot of confidence. The calling still getting them into trouble just a little. Another thing to take a look at, because nobody's attack side calling is running them out of time constantly on Haven. But it is so tricky to play against Heretics. They've got some slow-paced rounds, they've got some contact re-clears, big util re-clears if you try to insert a player. And like I said, those knives coming through from Woot, deadly to play against.
Extremely disciplined team too. They've got an idea. It's never really going to be an individual throwing their life line without good reason.
No, certainly not. Always doubled up. And this is a round where EDG have got to come through it cleanly. Only 1 player choosing not to purchase, that's Shishu. So if you're looking for somebody to go and gain information on an aggro lurk, that will be his job. They can suffer one death without an economic casualty.
Wandering around a little bit. Nobody was sticking around through B main.
If there is a reclear, though, it could catch him. In a round like this, you're unlikely to see reclears, though. More likely to see gamble stacks on ecos. And EDG look like they found a clean entrance to the A site.
30 seconds
Open for them. He's going to lead the way. Who hears all this noise as well? He's going to be calling now for the rotation, especially with the plant. Committed by Simon. Ult steadily being accrued as well. Simon's only 2 away. He might want to be hunted down some of these eco kills.
I must wait a moment.
And spots it. Dart, excuse me. Broken. And Heretics falling here. Too much available in terms of options that they can go for. The firepower, the weaponry, not quite there in this round.
And keeping it superbly clean.
Yeah.
Nothing lost at all. The flawless comes through. Simon 2 away from being able to get null command online. A massive ultimate to try to just drive things into B, for example. Turn off all of Benji's utility. I wonder if Heretics already in this round are going to be thinking about denying ult orbs.
Let's go! Let's go, boys!
Look at the energy that Kankang's providing to the rest of his team as well.
It's unreal.
I talked about it on Haven as being infectious, but it looks like it's taken a little while to set in. They were a bit timid, I think.
Yeah. They're new to a match as big as this on the global stage as well. As you said, it takes a while to set in and realize, actually, we deserve to be here. We're good enough players, we've earned our spot. It's all about grasping it when opportunities are present. Denied entry just from the nade, a fragment. Nice forwards. Drone is also going to be broken. Woot on the back step. Still that trip. Placed down here. And it needs to be an attempt by EDG. Benji tries to reset with the aim. Actually dropped down to his knees. Chichu! He's taking chunks out of him. Minibu now revealed off. And heads popped off. Chichu's not stopping. Who's left to do it all in a 1v3 and feeling it now. Empowered by that performance. EDG start to get a bit of momentum behind them.
There's another MVP candidate for EDG. I think Chichu's had a monster tournament to take his team to the finals. And he was slow, couldn't really get going on Haven, wasn't put in the right positions by his team. Here, barrels forward, hitting shots. Those 3 Sheriff kills are instrumental in getting his team the bonus round. Without those, there wasn't a hope.
It's a beautiful round to convert the bonus. EDG, as I said, they will be happy with it. Bit of bait and switch there by Kankang, but not enough to avoid the knife. That's going to get good info for Heretics. Tagging onto multiple players. Might call for the rotations. They are on the weaker buy after all, so could make some riskier plays.
Brent, both Minibu and Simon are 1 away from their ults, and those interact with each other, right? If Minibu gets it online before Simon does, he can't pop the null command to take the showstopper offline. Whoever gets it up first is going to have a slim window of opportunity.
The orb is free real estate. Minibu creeping up onto the line as well, side by side with Boo, but they're taken out.
And shut down. Just as we were talking about it, Simon claims to swing it through elbow.
At this point, might not even feel like the ult is necessary to invest.
Not at all. Now this is clean again. Just as similar as round 2. These anti-ecos taken fairly cautiously. Giving respect to Heretics, but then dealing with the threats beautifully.
ADS, Fishy, no long for the world.
And you
have a clean round.
You were talking, Brett, about teams settling into big games like this, and I think I saw exactly the same last time EDG came out on stage. That first map when they played against Leviathan, Icebox, I felt like Simon was choking pretty terribly, actually. It was his first game in the arena. His fragging's gone down over the course of the tournament as the stakes have gone up. But what would you expect from a player where it's his first global event? He does seem a little painfully shy in some of these interviews, so it's great to see the emotion and the freedom coming out of him in these replays that you're seeing here. If he can get going in these rounds, he's 3-1 at the moment.
Absolutely.
And not just be playing supportively. Like I said, his supportive utility is immaculate. They've drilled that into him perfectly. But once he also gets those impact kills going, as he was in the group stage, that's when you've got a deadly team.
Oh, he's a beast. He's looked like it all tournament long. EDG, just need to pick yourselves up sometimes, and luckily had that time in between the maps to do exactly that, you know, just making sure that the mental was on track. And Heretics are forced to take the time out here with being 4 rounds down. I mean, as much as I'm talking about the mental, the crumble, the pressure on the big stage, and all of this pinpointing your career, it's on either side as well. Despite the fact that Heretics did dismiss EDG on that opening map, they still have new players. Now listen, they've been in the finals themselves, but they're still young. I've seen evidence of that. The DRX game, I think, was a perfect example where Heretics and DRX were both kind of trading blows. It was scrappy, it was messy, it was muddy, some might say.
EDG are going to have to apply similar levels of pressure to this, though, to get that same crumble from Team Heretics that, honestly, you're right, we have seen it in the past. Miniboo with his ult here looks to try to take the fight. 0 point broken as well, so still has access to that ult, those abilities. And with the nade being thrown on the B side of the map and Miniboo not being turned off, they want no part of it.
Yeah, EDG all the way up through mid as well. This time it might not be anticipated. Benji! He's gone, he's taken out. The swipe of a hand and a glide from Kang, man. Woot needs to try and make the play. Attempt to dominate the angle. Broken to pieces here, and now 3 to stand for Heretics on through this retake. Simon's ult will fade, just spotting barely onto the shoulder, but a kill. It's all that Heretics were really potentially hoping for there. Now, settling back into the positions, looking to save it for the next round. It was a full investment from Heretics into this. It was a timeout as well. There was everything pointing towards this needed to be the turning point for them in this map.
And I think that's exactly what EDG, what the desk were looking for EDG to adapt to. That's that faster tempo. They made the decision instantly. As soon as they heard the nade coming out and an aggressive B main take, you know that teams are doing that with usually 3 players in B main. You know that Miniboo's over there and he has Showstopper, and you don't want to be messing with that. And so they instantly call an A split. And once more, who is it that breaks the crosshair of Benji Fishing? Breaks his wrist in the middle of it too. Kankan.
Steel was mentioning on the desk, you know, he sees this guy, he will just try and take fights by himself, sometimes without that supportive util. It's because he's so potent, man.
He is.
He knows that he is the protagonist of this story, this tale that's being weaved here by EDG. Their own attempt to try and carve themselves into the history books.
When he played against Leviathan, he took 30 first duels, which is bonkers already. He won 20 of them.
He's just different, especially when he's firing on all sorts of cylinders.
Jishu looking to take an aggressive timing up here.
So aggressive.
Yeah, Riens and Miniboo both had their opportunities to try to contest this, but looking to back off and play slightly more passive angles, just to stop people entering with that trip.
There's still danger here for EDG, trying to play this attack. Simon used the ult prior. Miniboo's holding on to the showstopper. If you let time be your enemy, it's a game-winning ult in the hands of Miniboo.
No assistance here for Boo to get back onto the angle, so that drone just forces him back a step in elbow. Nobody's looking to test it. This is where you get the advantage of having an aggro IGL like nobody, because he's willing to... He is, he's down to limit test.
Might be calling rather to rotate, but they do pull out the drone. That's Heretics aiming to clear up the fog of war.
I think nobody's done a great job there of pushing Boo back twice. Once with the drone back into elbow, and then again to push him all the way back off A.
5 seconds, though.
It's going to weaken the B site massively. I mean, look at these players in spawn scrambling for Heretics.
In through spawn.
30 seconds left.
As you said, knife through the back now, EDG. Set their sights over towards the B site. Making a move now over towards it. Back sight is granted and gained. Simon with the plant. Up on the bound there. Nade rebounds, but Smog is already collecting all sorts of kills. Crossed up.
On there.
They need an opening to feel that willingness, I think, to expend this ultimate here. Miniboo! He's chopped down, cut down. Phantom spray by Kang. Needs to be heroics, up and over with the flash. Whoop, at least taking out Kang, but time is going to start ticking. The bait and switch setup just does not work. Nobody stands tall against any sort of challenges.
What a different map we're watching here. What a different look for EDG compared to the way that they fell over on Haven. where we saw the inexperience and the nerves playing out. Everything is crisp.
I must wait a moment.
Benji just cowering, hoping he survives. 6 rounds in a row. They need this gun. Stand a chance to bail them out. It's going to be granted at least that. But this is a map that is slipping away from Heretics.
It is. It's already a phenomenal attack side for EDG. They would only need another, round or two, and it would be super successful. Miniboo looked like he didn't understand that the smoke was going down there, or possibly didn't anticipate somebody would be holding an unusual off angle. And things are looking loose out there for EDG.
It's all smiles.
Nobody on Heretics has more than 2 kills across 6 rounds.
Money again is just being stretched thin. Desperation! Kang! But he opens it up and potentially closes out the round with that one. It's a first kill with no follow-up inside again from Heretics.
Heretics still have the best 4v5 win rate in the tournament. I mean, out of all teams, they were the ones who specialized in that.
Utah was broken. Flash to try and set this one up. That is a desperation play if I've ever seen one. You mentioned it, Josh. Best 4v5 win rate, but if you don't get that initial trade, which is so core to the way that Heretics play,
yep, then you're going
to be in trouble.
Much more difficult spot. That's why Rian's tried to equalize it there. Yeah. And now they're going to be in tough spots again.
Exploring, potentially. They're calling for it. Underhanded with the flash. There's too many targets to really deal with. Still that 1 for 1. And now space created and taken. Kang not to be denied any sort and semblance of the side. Woot dodging, juking, but again this guy is relentless.
He's got them every impact kill in the round, Kang. He's just been everywhere for EDG.
Cannot be stopped. Boo obtains the upgrade. Nails the first one. It's an obstacle removed, but 2 more where that came from. And Kang, this guy, look at him. He's out in the open.
He's so confident, and nobody from Team Heretics is giving him reason to be otherwise. He destroyed Miniboo in that opening fight. He's actually caught up on the scoreboard to Shishu, who was 10-0 in the first 4 rounds. Miniboo's ankles completely snapped there. And then Kang again being able to win a duel against Rian's MVP candidate for Team Heretics. That opens up elbow. Piece by piece, his layered aggression takes the map away. I'd like to see Team Heretics change up the way they're playing the defense side. I think, despite me talking about some of the things they were doing well, like Woot's knife, for example, broadly speaking, when they played against Lev, I was a bit disappointed with how Team Heretics were playing on what used to be home territory for them. They're going to take their second tag time out here. One of the things I'd like to see them adjust is to have more of these big defense re-clears, and quickly as well. If you spot Kang in an area of the map, if you see the wall, if you hear it, then try to get players into position. Try to get Woot or Boo with their flash ready to go and retake space against them. I think you've got to force the fight on your terms. You can't wait for Kang to get set up with all of the pretty util he needs to go and carve through you.
All right.
Now, should they do that on this round? Probably not. They've got 5 sheriffs and light armor.
It's a good time to get active.
Sure. But I think it's really round 9 where you want to try to start some kind of a comeback. And this one, you just see if you can hit your shots.
Knife is going to be dodged. Predictable here for the EDG players. And Orb's farmed up alongside it. Boo's just trying to take away any advantage he can in this round.
Woot's also trying to stay mobile as well, right? Uses the knife on one side of the map, now rotates very quickly to top mid. This is looking like a crunch in middle.
It does. KO set up and ready. Woot's right behind him.
Flash, recon, nade coming.
Yeah, here in that drone, you're going to see the dart through the back, and now there's that paranoia swinging through, but the timing on that smoke is just impeccable. Woot does not feel like he can step past that one. Kang's straight through and out with Benji, Fishy. Taken out.
That's the kind of spot where I'd like to see them commit to it. You know that there's a player trap there. If they were running Neon on this map, that would be a situation where Miniboo would stun and run at the defender in mid.
Nobody's a bit brave to take this fight, but the Tart spots it out, and now another re-clear call. It's Kang, man! He's barely on any sort of life at all. Hanging on by a thread, yet still navigates the danger. takes out the half buy. And I knew where Boo was from prior. They've run him down, hunted him down. They want him to get that ace. Stand up, take a bow, whatever you like. Listen, it might have been against the ecos, but take the aces where you can get them.
And I think that shows you the difference. KangKang was still playing really well with all of that pressure in map 1. I think he's just the kind of person that, you know, forged into a diamond under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
But for everybody else, I mean, you look at the way that Simon is bunny hopping towards him in that spot. You don't do that if you're feeling stiff, if you're feeling nervous. 8-0, EDG have no reason to be. Heretics still haven't come up with the answer here. Can move to top mid, trying to rotate these defensive positions. Woot holds the knife at the beginning. Looking to maybe save it for the execute.
Big group up. See, the drone is a good time to use it. Would cancel it out.
Yeah.
That's just that.
Decides to. The drone actually still got tons of value there in terms of info. You know that there aren't players holding in these tight corners nearby.
So many ults for Heretics. If you're going to put a round on the board, wipe out that goose egg. It's got to be now. Mini boot, ADS'd up. Just trying to lean onto those reaction times here, but with every single passing moment, EDG are just disrespecting this. They're all the way in through the back of the site. That's a dart connecting. Flash the follow-up as well. Woot! No long for this world. Showstopper rebounds, but only the one. Nobody has done all the work. Overdrive, offloaded, quick pivots. Smoggy's around, Norofef connects. And alongside the Paranoia still, tangled up, tied up. Benji Fishy is alone, he's isolated on a bloody island. And they want the kill.
There's no reason to go into him whatsoever here. EDG, I think, have overthought it, but it didn't make a spot of difference. They had access to either site they wanted to go to in this round.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds, but this time it's not going to be even a shadow similar to Haven. Those rounds where the clock denied and EDG's attack side calling looked dismal. This could not be more different.
It's looking like almost a clean sweep, and Benji, no luxuries granted or given. No rifle for the next. It's 9 in a row for EDG now.
They've completely activated.
Yeah.
Wu couldn't hold on in the back of the site. Miniboot got destroyed as soon as he popped his ult. I thought we were going to see Simon. He was saving the knife to try to deny it. But this turnaround is truly ridiculous. This is round 10, and Boo has a glass cannon up while the rest of his team is saving.
It speaks volumes.
Could there be a more desperate play?
EDG have been contacting quite a bit, but it's the initial knife that you got to dodge. Let's do that. Nobody from droning further back. No access, and they spot the op out. They know exactly what they've been cooking.
They're not breaking the drone as it comes through B main. They're not denying space that nobody's taking away from them. It screams desperation. Team Heretics very rarely run out of ideas. One of the big reasons they've been one of our best teams of 2024, but right now, the strat book looks cooked.
Bloody hell, used the momentum of the drop wire, spraying them down here. The teammates had his back. KangKang will fall, not without their reward, and Woot. Hello, Rians right from behind, they're striking. But nobody's gonna try and offset this now. Even Smoggy side by side, could beat by Boo. This is just getting ridiculous. Dart through alongside that Paranoia, reclaiming the space, and the spike alongside it.
It looks like Rians might have an opportunity to do it all. He's on the flank, creeping up behind Smoggy.
Best chance in a long while to get around, especially when it's just down to Smoggy. 1v2. Rians creeping, crawling up onto the angle. Reveals his hand with the deep dart. Clears him out, gives that peace of mind. Up close and personal. Boo. Looking to break the backs. He's just missed the timing, but he spotted the barrel. And there will be no betrayal this time. It's all on the side of Smoggy. They'll stick this to fuse, they'll get that round, and it does start with one at the end of the day, but it's going to need many, many more alongside it.
How dare I doubt the strat book? What a perfect idea from Team Heretics. How is that the round that they end up getting on the board? Rians popped They played a little quicker, though. They were more willing to take risks. This walkout through market, that's the kind of thing that they haven't really been doing.
Insane. Good job. Nice shot, Sentinels.
They're going to need plenty more where that came from.
Exactly. Hidden reserves are going to need to be tapped into. Heretics doubled up, trying to hold it, stun. Good connection, reveal onto all of them, and now the side swipe! They all topple, they all fall. An attempt by Benji Fishy is all for naught. Just the one voice dropped back down to that spectator seat, forced to watch this round play out.
They were not ready for the stun coming out from Kang at all. They also weren't ready for the fast player coming towards A-Link, just expecting everyone through elbow. Heretics are getting pulled to pieces here. This does not look like the dominance we witnessed from them earlier this year on Sunset. No one could touch them on this map.
It's round 11. You only got the one round, it's a 2v4, but surely you got to make a play for it.
I wouldn't have believed you if you said to me after that first half of Haven that the next map was going to be more dominant the other way around. We saw a 9-3 half.
Yeah.
EDG only won round 12 in the pistol follow-up.
It's absurd.
And yet this has even been more one-sided.
Yeah.
There's not even been a single round where Heretics, I feel, have been properly in it. The only one that they won was where they had a glass cannon operator and ran at people hitting sheriff shots.
Both teams matching each other, just trying to go for the gold split. Missed the memo. This game's done quick, apparently, but you can see from these kills here, the high tempo increase is called. They know that Boo's got an op. As soon as they realize the op is not in play over there, they just want to try and run over them. This is EDG with a full read. They took a peek at the book and the scripture. They knew what Heretics were cooking.
Deep recon to try to set up. Boo's made his way over towards B. They are still trying to change up these defensive spots. One trip broken.
Front clears. TP backing away.
Are they reading the pinch through market?
I mean, listen, they're going to have a vice grip onto these defending players, anchoring or not in through the cage and trying to stay alive, trying to dodge and weave all sorts of bullets. And nastiness that's coming their way. Boo, a flick and adjustment. It's just not there in time. It's overwhelming. This Orin and EDG are giving out. And 11-1 is where we stand at the half.
Resilience shown from EDG. If you opened up this grand finals and you were worried there was going to be a blowout, that EDG were going to crumble at the final moment after already making history and fall, it does not appear that that's going to be the case today. They have struck back hard.
Like I was saying, those hidden reserves are well and truly there. Let's send it down to the floor for an interview with the voice actor of Jet.
Hey guys, what's up? Jen Lee here with Shannon Williams, the voice actor of Jet. 제트 성우 샤넌님 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 가장 먼저 현재 발로란트 씬에서 많이 사랑받고 있는 제트라는 요원의 목소리가 또 샤넌님이시잖아요. 어떤 느낌인지부터 여쭤보고 싶습니다. You know, Shannon, Jet's been around for a long time. She's so popular. She's dominating in the Valorant scene. What's it like to be the voice of the agent that's been loved for such a long time?
It's so sick. It's just so sick. I'm just so honored and grateful that a lot of people love Jet. And she most definitely holds a big piece of my heart and is very much a spirit animal, a different side to me that I was able to put into that character. So yeah, I'm honored to have everyone love her as much as I do.
너무너무 놀랍고 너무 감사하고 영광이라고 얘기를 하시고요. 그리고 이제 제트를 이렇게 사랑해주셔서 감사하다고 얘기함과 동시에 뭔가 샤넌님의 안에 있는 다른 자아를 꺼내서 보여드릴 수 있는 점이 너무너무 감사하고 좋다고 얘기를 했는데요. 그러면 이제 또 가장 좋아하는 제트 대사가 있을 것 같은데 한번 부탁드려보도록 할게요. What are your favorite voice lines?
Oh, wow. I think I have two. I mean, of course, the ult voice line, and then the newest to Ace voice line, I think are my favorites.
Say it, please.
Okay. All right, we'll do the Ace one.
Okay. Woohoo! Ba-bum, ba-bum. One more. I got one more. Okay. Get out of my way!
Shannon, that was great. Thank you for the interview. Okay, now everybody here's my impression of the Jet. Watch this second half.
Oh, watch out for your job, Jen's coming.
Yeah. So Jen's been popping off of all the interviews this entire event here, but in case you're just joining us, 11-1. Well, we're looking at what we're sitting at, and listen, EDG, as we said prior, if you told me that they were able to come back in this fashion, in this form after that map one, which is a 13-6 for Heretics, I would have said you're dreaming.
Yeah. I think it's your classic candidates that are going crazy right now. Kankan was just getting them every fight, and Chishu was dominating as well. The openers, the closers.
Flash connects, Chishu lucky to be alive there. 1 HP, quite literally. Just tucks himself away behind a pillar. Alive for now, so the setup remains up.
It's a nice idea from Team Heretics, trying to get that punish on the Saifus. Often going to be trying to play aggro towards B main. There's a trip there, and they know it, and there's the punish, actually. Pretty good. You got to be able to shut down Kong Kong in these rounds. That's certainly something that Heretics have learned.
Come.
God.
Gotta get that info.
Timing.
Timing's missed. Wait a second. Players are there, ready for the trade. Boo to respond.
That might make them think that there's nobody home at B, because why would somebody be pushing out and anchoring the site? And yet there are actually two people ready to defend this.
Smoggy and Chishu. Not quite shoulder to shoulder. Smoggy's on that high ground angle, perched up. Barely peer over that smoke. It's just dropped up, blossoms, blooms. Chishu is getting brave. 29 seconds left. They gotta know at this point, but with the walking in play, contacts by Heretics. Finally, a few stray shots hitting. Damage done onto the other side of things. Trying to go for the swing. Paranoia sweeps through and through the smoke. They knew that Chishu was low. 13 seconds, time becoming an issue. EDG, Smoggy, definitive chances. Nade rebound. Smoggy trying to play himself back in here. Doubled up side by side. It's Heretics drifting, missing. And the shots matter right now! Smoggy! Man! He's not giving Heretics an inch.
There is no mercy here from EDG. Not a moment's respite. Not an inch. Heretics have done everything to try to set them up for that round win. To get a pistol that could have maybe gone somewhere. At least giving them some hope, even if it was false. And Smoggy shuts the door in their face.
One enemy remaining.
Beautiful shots towards the end. Shuts the door in their face and the map almost theirs. One more step is all they have to take. A 13-1 in the grand finals.
Surely we've never had a more dominant map than that in a grand finals before. I can't remember one.
Can't recall. Put it on a show right now.
Another round where Kankan does end up falling early. It's hard to see that it would matter at all, though.
My eyes are down.
All or nothing for Heretics. That investment did bear fruit. Double up, jumping alongside it, trying to bait these players right back in as well. Simon is being pushed, warded into this corner, and the util ricocheting, rebounding. A desperate effort to save his life. All for naught here on the side of EDG. An all-in attempt now, spraying them down. Spectre in hand, Chishu only able to get the one.
Smoggy once more in a 1vx scenario. This time an extra player. But he's caught a really quick timing again. It could actually be doable.
Benji's low. Doesn't want to reveal his position with a bit of stray spam. He's just perched up. High ground, up and around here. Bulldog spray, but dropped down to 27 health. Time begins to tick. Who will swing as soon as there's contact, signs of that live. Snaps to the side and almost made me believe.
I think if that first kill had been a bit cleaner onto Benji Fishy, Smoggy could have had that one. You see the way that EDG are playing, though. Simon, so first of all, Kankan just tries to take contact. Then Simon holds his ground. And then you see Chishu just break drone and stay exactly where he is, too. The way that EDG are currently playing, They believe they're better, and they're forcing Team Heretics round by round, moment by moment, to prove that that's not the case. EDG are not going to give them a shred of extra respect unless Heretics earn it.
There's a pause and a timer.
And that's brutal.
Can only mean a few things.
Because if this was in a tense scenario,
yeah,
you'd be thinking the tension is ridiculous.
Hope the groan from the audience picked up.
But a tech pause in a moment like this is absolutely brutal for Heretics, I think. There are a few instances where some kind of pause in the action might ice the team that's got momentum. But EDG's momentum all came from the first half, and Heretics are just now left to sit silently, can't even talk about what's going wrong, can't add any levity to the moment. They just have to fester in what a mess they've made of what used to be their dominant map.
See the crowd being led to chants as well. That's the Heretics side of the court.
Yeah, you don't.
A lot of family and friends are staying.
You honestly, you don't need to lead the crowd in EDG chants.
You really don't.
I think they are certainly the favorites here in Seoul. We've had quite a lot of Chinese fans, I think, coming in. It's a short hop away, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, listen, right over the sea. Maybe a bit of land in the process. Yeah, you do land. Right here in our finals, getting a little bit of a wave going. I do appreciate that. But I do love it. I mean, Heretics,
it's coming towards us.
I was about to say, is it coming towards us?
Yeah.
Give it a go. Hold on. What, you lifted your arms too early?
No, you were mad late.
I missed it. I was looking at, mate,
you were crazy late.
I was looking at the screen. I completely missed it. But Heretics, after kind of being the bane of existence for the Chinese teams in Shanghai, making it to the finals themselves, they almost became like the hometown favorite themselves. They were getting all the cheers.
Yeah, they're certainly a respected team for the Chinese fans, but there's a difference, I think, between respect and love, adoration.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that is poured out en masse for EDG. It's not just as well that the Chinese fans get behind any Chinese team. They do to some extent, of course, but EDG are the Sentinels of China. They are above, far beyond the other teams in terms of how voracious the Chinese fans' appetite is for their players, for the media, for their success as well.
That kind of scrutiny, it can break you as players, as teams as well. There's been tons of pressure on EDG to try and pick themselves back up, because honestly, first two international events, it was essentially a no-show from them.
Yeah, it was a very sad beginning to the year, actually. I was worried that EDG wouldn't be able to cope under the pressure, because it was enormous.
Crashing and burning out of Shanghai, but from the ashes, they've rebuilt themselves, with Simon coming in, not moving to supplement the coaching staff, and you can see what a difference it's made.
Yeah, Kankan's just been phenomenal, honestly. He's one of those players that right from the beginning of his story represented China on the global stage. He's always been the player that people look at. Sometimes those kind of players, sometimes they fall off over time.
Yeah.
They're really good at the start, but they're explosive. They just don't have what it takes to be able to evolve as the team evolves. I think it's not just that Kankan has evolved as his team has evolved. He's actually led the evolution of EDG. It's huge what he's been able to accomplish, to grow as he's gotten older, to realize his own dreams.
I'd agree. He's been making sure that Simon is up to scratch as well. There are rookies on either side, of course, on both sides of the stage, and just getting whispers of the ETA. Looks like the problem might be fixed. I say might be because, listen, sometimes things do take a tumble for the worst.
The ghosts in the machine.
Yeah, I've just been burnt too hard. You know what I mean? I'm jaded at this point. You never know. You get told sometimes already. It's no one's fault, of course. I mean, listen.
We can allocate blame if you like.
Okay.
We can just pick somebody.
I'll blame you. if that's what
No. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
12-2.
Kankan was talking too about their losses at Shanghai, and he said that they knew that they looked back on Masters Shanghai and they knew that they need to be working hard, doing better, showing their resilience. How could you open the grand finals with a better showcase of resilience than this?
Yeah. Almost a slam dunk finish here for Sunset, and we're right back into the action. Didn't miss much here. Nobody is going to be missing his head. Right off the shoulders, clean as anything. Heretics showing no mercy. They know it's got to be relentless if they're going to try and stand any chance in this map.
The EDG economy in a bad spot, so they're looking to take risks. I would have loved to see this a little more, I think, from Heretics when they were on the defense side. Going for that triple push down through mid.
Something smells up.
You got to expect more.
Yeah, they certainly do. Holding for the angles. Wait, they've missed one. Kang. Doing the damage.
He's immediately reacts, thinking that somebody's going to be there trying to punish him, but now can go back and pick up that Guardian.
See if he can do anything else with it. Still a 2v4. Heretics into the post plant themselves too.
Giving the Guardian over to Shishu. Very confident in his own Sheriff aim by the look of things.
Yeah, might be the better course as well to try and go down to the spike, but
I think Miniboo's missed the timing there.
No punish on the jump spot though. Miniboo, one more kill. Gets him up to the ult for the next. Still EDG want to try and play into this one here. Crawling forwards, what a shot! Magnetic to the dome. Stun connects, Miniboo though responds. Leaves it down to Chichu, sharp dance rebounding, weakening him, softening him. Miniboo himself gets the 3-piece in the round.
Little scary there, Miniboo, but what a shot he pulled out. Stunned up, made sure that Kong would not run away with that. But they would need another 9 rounds to make this possible, and even that would only get things to overtime. It's a foregone conclusion that we're heading towards Lotus anyway, no matter what. But the manner in which we get there to Lotus might make all the difference. EDG set up to repel this.
Paranoia. Does the job. EDG cleared off the angles. Miniboo though, misplay there, but at least the boom bot doesn't clear the corner like he was hoping. They're smoking their face too, so second guessing themselves of whether or not they want to make the moves over towards A.
Simon's so diligent. He's always got the read on what's going on. He's just holding the knife here, waiting for that showstopper. And the more he doesn't use it, the more it denies Miniboo from getting into a good position where he can actually find value.
Absolutely. Drone. Spots the one.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you everything. You know that they're not going to be hitting A in the next 10 seconds, and you also know that they've tried to insert somebody. So they could go for the re-hit later.
Certainly, even an open sight, Chichu. So there's going to be much safety for him to cross back up and away here. The dart spells it out for him. Trip's going to be cleared. EDG, a rapid though onto the approach, but Boo has got it handled nicely. Clean shot. Once more, you've removed that heavy hitter. Team Heretics falling back, reconfiguring into this round. Through B. Miniboo's going to be taking point and contact. Oh, feeling like it was necessary, and well, it's still alive and kicking, but potentially not for long. Yes, Smoggy returns it straight away. Straight bullets, all it takes. EDG now to try and chew through this hold. In through B main, a tap onto the spike. Accounting for Boo, he just absolutely overwhelms onto that spot in position, and nobody, not long for it.
A nice round from Heretics. Good plant, Cam on the plant as well. They have so many layers there. Miniboo pushed up, aggro on the post plant, drawing out info, managing to go 1-for-1. Cam and spam. Play that Heretics love running on both sides of the map. Fragment grenade too. But at what point do you start to believe that a comeback like this is possible? It takes anything. One big round from Kankan or Chichu.
There's always danger lurking every corner.
One mistake from Heretics.
Exactly.
And it's over. These comebacks, they almost never happen.
Especially because it's an EDG. Weaker weaponry, you can take those risks. You can make your move.
What a risk he's taken here. He's
Pushed
found
up.
the timing.
He's right past him. It's going to be a trip in his face at least, but might be able to hunt down Boo. Still, Boo is in a very defensible position. Slicing the pie from Miniboo. Trying to, okay, maybe stopping short of the mark. But still aware of the fact that there could be that play. And it's made here. The Paranoia sweeping his way through. Just can't quite wrangle the beast in control of the Sheriff. Swiping his way in. Kang! Here he is. Playtime's over. They're done messing around. EDG want to go on to the next. There's an ult for Boo, will be able to pick up the spike, but it's a hard read by Simon. Look at this guy, ready to just deny. 13-4. The MasterCard thrifty to finish. And Lotus on the cards with an even up scoreline between both of our teams.
Zeltz said on the desk that when Haven went the way of Heretics, he thought that was going to make the series incredibly difficult for EDG. You're expecting Sunset to be favored for the EMEA squad, who look good there all year long, and EDG, they made them look like the rookies they are.
Yeah. Knocked down. It's going to be on them to try and find themselves, if they can pick themselves back up.
So far, Kang is having an MVP level performance as well. Somebody needs to shut this guy down.
22 kills leading. Absolutely unreal stuff so far. And Lotus up next.
With me. with me. With me.
잘한다고 얘기를 했습니다. 그러면 리오님에게 2025년 좀 리그 포맷에 변화가 있다고 발표가 났는데요. 팬들과 선수들에게는 또 어떤 영향을 미칠지 여기에 대해서도 여쭤보도록 할게요. So you guys just announced that there will be big changes for 2025 when it comes to the league formats and also the scheduling. You know, how would those changes most benefit the teams and the players and also the fans?
I'll tell you, we're very excited. 2025 is going to be a very special year for Valorant. It's our 5th anniversary. Not every game gets that opportunity. We're very humbled, very grateful. As far as the sport goes, we're finally expanding the calendar. We're going to have more Valorant with champs now in October. We're also expanding the number of teams in our leagues. We're expanding playoffs. We have a new format. We're better aligning the game and the sport. And we're bringing our events to 3 brand new locations around the world. It's going to be the best year of Valorant and the VCT yet, and we cannot wait.
Oh yeah, baby. 먼저 2025년이 발로란트 5주년이거든요. 근데 사실 많은 게임들이 5주년을 맞이하는 그런 기회를 접하기 쉽지 않은데 상당한 영광이고 그리고 여러분들께 감사한다고 얘기를 하면서 내년에 가면 리그도 더 길어지고 챔피언스는 10월에 들어가고 그리고 플레이오프도 조금 더 확장되고 많은 팀들이 더 VCT 서킷에 들어오게 될 거고 정말 많은 변화가 있겠지만 선수들도 그리고 팬분들도 즐길 만한 것들이 더 풍성한 한 해가 될 것 같기 때문에 2025년 많이 기대해 주시길 바란다고 얘기를 했습니다. Thank you, Leo and Anna, for joining me.
Thank you. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Hope you guys enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We have some champions in the house. It's Giacomo and Potter. Welcome, guys.
Hello, hello.
It's so good to have you two here. We got Kukuku with me as well. But that map, let's quickly break it down. What a stark contrast from the first one. What happened?
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, I can kind of, but that first map already, things were wonky for EDG. You know, the fact that right after that Omen ult, landing towards A site, kind of meandering around and unable to plant, running out of time a lot. And the stage nerves, you could just absolutely see it. So it's good for EDG that they were able to get a reset backstage and looking like a completely different team on map 2.
Yeah, and Jog, look at the vibes. Look how hyped KongKong was as well right after that. You gotta give it right when you're on that stage.
When you're on the stage, you're giving the hype, you're letting the crowd know, and you want to put the crowd on your back. You say, let's hype up the crowd, let's get hype. So I think it's amazing that KongKong's getting the crowd on his side, and I mean, he is a crowd pleaser, so I can't be mad at him for that.
Does he have that dog in him?
He got that dog in him, for sure. 100% he got that dog in him, for sure.
Yeah, and now looking at Lotus, things are moving pretty fast as the Asian Select has already been decided for the third map. We know that this is a map that both of the teams have a lot of experience. Team Heretics decided to change the composition, go for the double controller, a lot of what other teams in EMEA are doing. But the way that EDG present this map, how they run the Clove, some might think is a little bit wacky, but the presence that they're able and the pressure that they're able to put across the map definitely pays off.
You guys like the Clove?
Of course, why not? Clove is a beast right now.
I love the Clove. I love the Clove, and you know, just a double initiator comp on the one side and Viper on the other. I'm loving this. You know, in Americas, especially for our team, there was a lot of discussions, a lot of debate back and forth about what's going to be the flavor of this map, what's the best comp. And for us, it was the double initiator. It was without the Viper, but I think it makes sense that the Raze is coming out because the Viper, the HP gets dwindled down. So just in tandem, these utilities work together well.
And now, Christina, you're no stranger to the desk, so you know that Bren and Sideshow are waiting for us on the other side. Would you like to do the honor and toss to them?
Bren, Sideshow, take it away.
A true professional in every sense. Listen, in every sense. I'm ready for Potter to step back into the ring. Listen, the talent already and waiting. Open arms, I'm telling you. Open invitation here. But Lotus, for our map here in the grand finals, the middle ground here, where in terms of where we're reaching with the map pool of both of these teams and the map pick bands, and where they've gone, EDG have kind of upset a multitude of opponents, I think, over the course of this tournament on this map. You know, you can dismiss their composition for being non-standard, non-meta, but they do make it work, and it works well.
They make it work amazingly. They are great at playing around smokes. They're amazing at trading KongKong, and their pistol round strategies are always creative, always finding success. This round, at least in the creativity, looking to be no different. This is going to be a big push out of C and B, and that puts all of the pressure on people like Benji or Woot to try to hold on or make at least the right decision of whether to hold, whether to run A.
You're gonna see it. Kitchen Sink is lobbed over towards it, trying to take that fight with the fault line. That's a good connection, Kang. It's blood in the water, you can sense it, smell it, trying to go for the pincer, contained for now. Heretics have the advantage. They've stunted and slowed down this push. Nobody seeking to redeem himself into that spot for a moment's notice. Taking these timings, disrespect is shown. Miniboo,
he's stuck with the spike.
It's fully squeezed. Out of spot, out of position, still satchels through, and his team's gonna make the decision for him. Taking that space onto the site. Now everybody trying to go for the retreat. Damage done, tapping away, pistols in hand. Not enough to claim these kills. Let's soften them up potentially for that rainy day. Kang is relentless. He won't let them loose, and he will not let them have even a single chance. Heretics somehow finding heads and finding a way through this. Tap through the wall, nobody is left in a difficult spot, a 1v2, but all that damage done, as we said prior. Shots online!
That's just a disgusting pistol from EDG. Nobody with so much value there. Collecting the B. React, which I think was the wrong call from Heretics. You know that they pushed out B and C. You know that A is open. I'm not really sure why they tried to do that small feint into the B site. Maybe over-anticipate that EDG were going to read the A pivot. EDG were ahead of them at every part there, up until the very end where nobody was in a tough position but pulled out the Red Bull clutch.
One of these maps can be defined by the pistol rounds. No loss here, but EDG continuing that momentum. Smoggy. Still holding down, locking down towards C-mount. Someone's got a fault line just in case. Door opens wide, but the paranoia, they already know that there's a chance. Losing B main control, but no. Once more, Heretics have worked back. Pushed into predictable avenues.
Pings out from Heretics over towards C, which is where Smoggy and Simon are holding. but it doesn't really look like there's going to be enough utility to shove them off the line. Even if Boo decides to commit Haunt or a Prowler to this, I think they're just going to break it. I'd be surprised if EDG gave up map control. Yeah, it's just responded with a fault line, and you keep this stack over towards A. 2 players crossfire setup.
Might just get put into the blender. Okay, kankang tries to play off the flash. On a couple of these eco kills, he's handed over the rifle to them. Not just that, damage, stray shots, straight through the smoke, and move with the possibility to get this plant online. Putting the pressure down onto Rians. He still returns with a frag. Traded though. And Heretics have set themselves up into this post plant. Benji's on with the rifle.
Did Smoggy see Miniboo here? I don't think he did.
Fault line ready. Time to strike is nice. Smoggy's trying to run these players down still. It's defended from above. Benji Fishy, man of the hour. Time starting to tick here. On through the spike, and that rifle handed over. A costly mistake. Chichu has to pick up the pieces and forge a path to victory. No more bullets left to do it. And Miniboo knows it. Locks it down, holds it down, and answers right back after the pistol.
Finally, we're seeing both teams really early on try to get stuck in on a map, not allowing it to go early one way or the other. I feel for kankang in that spot though, because he really believed that Paranoia was good. He trusted in his teammate, and he ended up being betrayed by it. Woot, playing anti-flash, managed to swing back in and help deliver that first step to the Masquerade Thrifty. Heretics will be loving that one. Not only does it hurt the EDG economy, but it actually allows them an opportunity to start getting these attacking ults going, which otherwise would have been a big disadvantage. It's one of the biggest reasons that Team Heretics, or at least biggest tools that they have to rely on their attack side, compared to EDG's less standard approach. The ultimates that Heretics have access to, slightly better. And they found the gap here, if indeed they do press into B. EDG are super happy to gamble. When they're on ecos, they'll often run 4 players A. They'll sometimes push on defense, like we saw on the pistol.
They have a lot of ideas on. Pretty par for the course though, just trying to stack a sight when you're on the eco. It's nothing really innovative. Okay, kankang. Takes a gander and a peek.
This spike is in serious danger of being lost. Benji's taking a risk even going to retrieve it right now.
He's having to slow down the footsteps. He doesn't know if the space has been taken. Now scurrying away. Slight mistiming there. Could have spelled defeat and doom for him, but okay. Stand the turret. Side's been taken up, but players are in position. EDG have got them surrounded on almost every front.
But their weapons aren't good enough to spam, so this plant should go down fairly easily. They throw the Paranoia in as well, just to make sure nobody can play Waterfall.
Aftershock is good. kankang being played in here. All that sound and distraction. Shots are here. Head's barely poking over. But it matters not. Give him a pixel, give him anything. kankang will make it work. Guns have been handed. Crossed over. Benji Fishy 1v2. Has a lot to deal with. Prowler running him down, and nobody's right there alongside it. It's back to back.
The Thrifties, they just keep coming. Nobody with Bulldog in hand did so much there. The turret evaded as well. What was going on there? Came back through Mound.
Planted.
Must have been offline, I think.
Yeah,
we didn't get to see it really inside the POVs that we were watching, but
just out of range.
They crept through. No problem.
Either that or they found a blind spot.
Well, certainly kankang was trying to tuck underneath it as if he was trying to play the blind spot. It was odd. To be honest, I think Benji pointed it, in some sense, kind of the wrong direction, too.
It's a scrappy and explosive beginning here on Lotus. Hopefully seeing signs that it is a bit more back and forth.
Right here.
Rather than the blowouts that we've seen on the first 2 maps. Missing the turret. That's still here. Smoggy going to refresh that one way, but he's going to respect now the Prowler in his face.
EDG have posted Shishu up over towards Rubble. So even with Team Heretics taking this portion of the map, EDG still have very good information around. Benji's got his ult online though. That one's pretty huge. When you're playing it against a team that's running a Raze on the other side, usually the Raze on defense will try to rotate C, deny the lockdown. But with this comp, they don't really have anything to stop the lockdown from coming through.
Yeah, it's not an option.
I'd expect to see Benji try to make use of it in the round, but he's playing really passively over towards B right now.
Bang, a wall in his face. That's Chichu taking the timing straight through the smoke. The kill lighting up the feed. That's all the acknowledgement they need.
I think you got to give up an A here. Just group B or C and use the lockdown.
They've got no way to really remove it.
30 seconds left.
That option might be just being forced into their hands. Simon, slight jiggle again, grabs the information. Damage is being done. Stray shots are fired in through B. This feels a little bit hectic on the side of Heretics. Boo! He goes down to the aftershock, none the wiser. The plant denied. Chichu from behind. God, he's not slowing down. 7 seconds. Benji forced to give it up.
The final player scuttles away. Still with that lockdown in the back of his pocket. EDG string 2 together for the first time on Lotus.
Strange one.
Yeah, and they've also broken the economy of Heretics. I know that we've seen the Thrifties do work, but you can't rely on them forever. What is going on here, though, as well? Boo just missing the sound cues because of the Nightfall.
It's not even sound cues, you can see it on your screen.
I know he can see it, but that's the only explanation I can think of.
In the chaos of that, I think when time's running low, decision-making just going to miss. Like you said, you can't rely on the Thrifties, so the Heretics drop down. Benji Fishy have to be the point man. With that Guardian disrespecting, at least pushing back over towards C. Speaking of disrespect, EDG have a lot of bodies behind this.
Yeah, this is one of their kind of substandard, but they still run it, defensive looks where 4 players stack over towards A really early on, get somebody posted there. You've got options. It could be Kangkang and nobody, and you can run forwards with the Prowler, or you can just post Shishu up over towards Rubble. And it's tough, because if Heretics try to gamble that EDG have got 4A at the start of the round and fast hit towards B or C, it might not be this defensive setup.
Lineups are here, mass pings on the mini-map at least. Heretics looking to make the mark, over towards C. Smoggy will seek to deny.
They're going into a C's and a medal. There is a chance that Heretics get melted.
Could eviscerate them. Gets the connection and the reveal. But it goes on either side here. Fully revealed up. Mini Boo cleaning up onto the corner. Cuts it up from Chichu. Trying to get his team right back into this one here. He does have the angle, but he hears that TP, and he's anticipating it in a different direction. And ult. Lockdown. It's dropped down. This is trying Heretics now to pave their way through. There's not going to really break that one. I mean, Simon is going to place the aftershock to see if he can delay and deny the plant from going down, but tucked into the corner. Rians will get an extension of time into the round now. EDG up onto the flank with the flash. And through waterfall. Overdrive into the hands of Kangkang. Rians just can't hold a candle to that. Movement too good. Chichu defusing, but sprayed down. Beam down. Wood holding it down. Nobody can cross the line in the barrier, and Simon. It's desperation just tucked to the side. Josh, you said you can't rely on the Thrifties, but listen. MasterCard are getting their money's worth.
This is ridiculous. Our third that we've seen so far on Lotus. And we finally got the lockdown invested as well, and you can see now, I think, why Benji didn't want to use it so much in those prior rounds. They don't want to use it as a tool to get in onto sites. They want to use it as a tool to ensure they can get plants on sites. And there is a subtle difference there. Normally, when you use it as a tool to initiate, you have to exec as it's about 4 seconds left on the clock. That's not enough time to plant. The defenders are already going to be in, trying to deny. As EDG are trying to deny Rubble currently.
Big reveal, big coverage, Mini Boo. Straight up and over, Benji Fishy looking to contain. Plugging up the holes, but he is alone, isolated. Smoggy. Bite of the apple, tap with a rifle. Resets it. To draw this core, the play's being made all across the board. Chichu! You didn't have to do it to him, not like that. Embarrasses Heretics in through tree.
He is the immovable object of EDG.
And could we have it any other way? And that's an ace if I've ever seen one.
He's been superb at this tournament. He really has. His win rates in these opening fights, immaculate. But guess who's there supporting him on that entry too? Simon from the back. The fault line comes through. stuns onto Woot and frees him up to go for the rest of the kills. Kangkang, he can't even believe it behind him.
Disbelief.
He's
Look
like,
at
mate,
this guy.
where are the rest of my kills? You're going to ruin my stats here, Chishu. Chishu, 12-4. He started off on Sunset 10-0. Now, he did slow down after that, but his opening to the map drove a spear firmly into Team Heretics. It's amazing how much Chishu's doing actually for them overall in this tournament. He's winning about 70% of his opening fights. That is ludicrous.
That's insane, man. He
That's
really is.
Absolutely bonkers numbers, and you're also seeing the value that he has across the board.
Yeah.
On Haven, he couldn't quite get working today, but on previous times, he's been so good with the lurks. Intelligent player, and fairly calm under pressure too. He's one of those players alongside Kangkang you can expect to perform in every game.
He's been so clutch this entire tournament. I haven't pulled the numbers. I haven't gone for the deep dive. I'm just going off the eye test. But I know when I see a player who's performing like this is the tournament of his life. And listen, the form has not slipped. You've seen it on the first map, maybe initially, but he's returned the fire and forced the timeout out of Heretics, forcing them to adjust and adapt. Again towards a rubble. Wall's going to be going down here. Heretics are giving up that space. It's conceded by EDG.
And I like that EDG don't fight over it. One of the big advantages that Team Heretics comp has is that it should be able to win rubble fights. Kangkang's always going to be a bit of a wild card in those rubble fights because the Neon can get into really unexpected situations, but generally speaking, Heretics should be able to own that part of the map. EDG, though, seem to have anticipated that this is heading B. Nobody's looking to get info, and Prowler's trade.
Spot, yeah. He's hyper committed here. It's a showstopper in the back pocket, a mini boot. It's punishable.
Heretics don't like the look of this. Potentially coming back to Rians. It looks a little indecisive here. Rians is looking for that info that would just inform Boo what the correct decision is. Boo's had his team go towards B, towards C, and now coming back to A without really putting pressure anywhere. They're not pulling defensive rotates.
They're not at all. The jiggle to try and get that info. Rians is calling, wait guys, they've potentially given this all the way up.
They need to rely on ults.
What is that? Wide face, 5 players to receive and face him. Simon steps up, takes the challenge and takes the fight. But now the squeeze, Paranoia is perfect. And an ult to supplement. It's a cherry on top. Nobody denied. Can't step past the blue room.
10 seconds.
Smoggy's just wondering where it all went wrong.
He's a player that's been lone defending C these past couple rounds.